the actions of white evangelicals in the year 2020 served as a strong confirmation for me personally to have publicly disassociated myself from the church. Now, again, I left because I came to what for me was an inescapable conclusion that the church had a spurious relationship with the truth. And I feel like that spurious relationship with the truth was borne out in 2020. But it's more than just a spurious relationship with the truth. I think the church demonstrated that it has a spurious relationship with justice as well. So on the issue of racial injustice, and I'm gonna pull some data from the Public Religion Research Institute. This is all,
shout out.
This is all straight from there. White Christians are nearly twice as likely as religiously unaffiliated whites to say the killings of black men by police are isolated incidents rather than part of a pattern of how police treat African Americans. White Christians are about 30 percentage points more likely to say monuments to Confederate soldiers are symbols of Southern pride rather than symbols of racism. White Christians are also about 20 percentage points more likely to disagree with the following statement. Generations of slavery and discrimination have created conditions that makes it difficult for blacks to work their way out of the lower class. Author Robert P. Jones, who's also associated with the PRRI, created a racism index that was generated using 15 questions designed to get beyond personal biases and include perceptions of structural injustice. So basically this is a racism test. White evangelical Protestants had the highest median score on the racism index. As Jones summarized, while most white Christians think of themselves as people who have warm feelings toward African Americans, holding racist views is nonetheless positively and independently associated with white Christian identity. Having spent most of my life in the white evangelical church, I don't need these stats, but you might need them in order to understand that racism has a very comfortable home in the white evangelical church today. And also, newsflash, and people who know their history know that this is not new, right? It isn't like 2020 made the church racist. The white church has held up racist ideas and defended racist ideas and perpetuated racist ideas for hundreds of years. The church, now what we were told, what we grew up thinking is that, the only reason that slavery ended was because of the Christian abolitionists. But what that fails to account for is the only reason that slavery continued for so long was the white Protestants who were justifying it and doing it, right? Mm-hmm. And not only that, not only were they instrumental in the justification of slavery, the church was instrumental in the justification of segregation that followed slavery. And Sunday morning remains the most segregated time of the entire week in America. 2020 just pulled the curtain back. 2020 just pulled the curtain back on something that lots of people have known for a long time.
I will say, you kind of alluded to it. I'll just say, I'll refer to your Medium article, Letter to a White Man, because that's where you explored your own experience and you wrote the letter to your former self. I think that, again, you made a statement earlier that given my experience and your experience growing up when we did where we did, including in the church, but just when and where we did in general as white guys. I know a lot of, this rings true for me from personal experience. Mm-hmm. And being close to it to the point where I personally am sorry for being so close to it and unwittingly involved many times, more than I even care to reflect or completely understand because it's scary to think about. But I talk to my kids about it,
Yeah.
So Just wanted to throw that in there.
Well,
Yeah, this rings true from my personal experience. To watch more Ear Biscuits, click on the playlist on the right.
To watch the previous episode of Ear Biscuits, click on the playlist to the left.
And don't forget to click on the circular icon to subscribe.
If you prefer to listen to this podcast, it's available on all your favorite podcast platforms. Thanks for being your mythical best.